Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So, first of all, I just want to thank Wizards for being incredibly clear and communicative and just, well, a great organization that is really always having the interests of its fans and its players at heart first because, well, an article came out 8 years ago, back when Wizards was a bit more open and honest with their communication, it seems like. And it does clarify a few things that are debated within the community and that Wizards themselves even, doesn't like to discuss or talk about, but they actually are on board with Proxies. So that does kind of solve some problems when it comes to, printing mechanically unique cards and secret Lair drops that are only available for a certain amount of time, and they built in a certain way with the system that people could actually cheat the line and not actually, wait in line properly, and then they get bought out by a bunch of scalpers, and then they're sold on the secondary market for 3 times the price. So there are options around that, and I'm actually expanding those options for you. Let's jump into this article first, though, and discuss what Wizards said so that you can bring this to whoever you need to and say, yeah, no, it's completely fine to do this. Here we go. On Proxies, Policy and Communication Announcements, January 14th, 2016. Man, that seems like a long time ago. When Wizards was a bit more open and honest about communication, it seems like, and we didn't have everything going on right now that we do in the Magic world. Next up, here we go. This week, a discussion emerged on the internet, particularly on Reddit and Twitter, about Wizards of the Coast policy on proxies and in-store play. There's clearly a lot of confusion about what our policy is, where we stand on some of the finer points, and why we're trying to kill Legacy and Vintage. We're not. Okay. Here's what happened. We became aware that a store was running a tournament with a suspiciously large prize pool, and they appeared to be allowing proxies, since the word proxies is used colloquially to range in meaning from a marked-up playtest card to counterfeit cards. The large prize made the event curious enough for us to want to make sure there wasn't something unsavory going on. We contacted the store to find out more about the event. Our intention was to educate them on counterfeit cards and proxies and ensure they understood our policy. Our communication specifically said that no sanctions were being handed out to the store. This was purely a fact-finding and educational outreach, so that's good. The bad part was that the details of the policy discussed with the store were both unclear and inconsistent with other communications we put out. As we dug into what was actually said, we realized that we had different reps in different offices around the world sending different messages, making the confusion even worse, and that's completely our fault. So let's clear things up. Our stated policy specifically applies to DCI sanctioned events. Cards used in DCI sanctioned events must be authentic Magic cards. The only exception is if a card has become damaged during the course of play in a particular event. For instance, a shuffling accident bends a card or a drink gets spilled. In that case, a judge may issue a proxy for use only for the duration of that event so the player can continue playing. Again, remember, it says specifically DCI sanctioned events. Our stance on counterfeits is also clear. Wizards remains committed to vigorously protecting the Magic community from counterfitters. We will remain vigilant for illegal activity, and we will continue to work quickly and decisively with law enforcement agencies around the globe to protect against the creation or distribution of counterfeit Magic cards. Additionally, reiterate in the strongest terms possible that any individual or retailer who knowingly deals in counterfeits works against the best interests of the community. Wizards has eliminated, will continue to eliminate from the DCI and WPN anyone who knowingly distributes counterfeit cards. What has gotten caught up in confusion are playtest cards used outside of sanctioned DCI events. And the reason it has gotten confusing is because we've never really talked about them before. So let's do that. A playtest card is most commonly a basic land, the name of a different card written on it with a marker. Playtest cards aren't trying to be reproductions of real Magic cards. They don't have official art, and they wouldn't yet pass even the real thing under the most cursory glance. Fans use playtest cards to test out new deck ideas before building out a deck for real and bringing it to a sanctioned tournament, and that's perfectly fine with us. Wizards of the Coast has no desire. Let me read this again. Wizards of the Coast has no desire to police playtest cards made for personal, non-commercial use. even if that usage takes place in a store. What we really care about is the DCI sanctioned events. Use only authentic Magic cards, and we stop counterfeits. You keep saying counterfeits or counterfeiters. There we go. So counterfeits. All right. I know there have been different messages in the last few days saying things that conflict with the above and with each other, and I apologize for the confusion we've caused through our own internal misalignment. Going forward, please take this post as Wizards' official stance. We definitely will. If you need to vent your frustration on anyone, send your thoughts my way instead of piling it on the various individuals who have tried to help by communicating through our chaos. And please know that we have multiple people looking at your feedback and comments on this topic as every other passion issue that springs up in the community, so please do keep them coming. And lastly, I wanted to end with a commitment to you and for 2016. Speaking for Permanent Wizards, going forward, we'll be as transparent as possible to respond to issues you care about as soon as we can. That's a bit ironic at this point. We will always strive for clarity and better partnership. We will communicate with the belief that everyone has the best intentions for the gaming community that we all love. Enjoy Oath of the Gatewatch pre-release this weekend. My goodness, that was a long time ago. And yeah, definitely believe that they were going to be much more transparent going forward. And these days, it seems like, they will respond to your issues. Okay, well, yeah, there's been a lot of issues that have been happening over the years. Regardless, the important thing to take out of this entire thing is Wizards of the Coast has no desire to police playtest cards made for personal, non-commercial use, even if that usage takes place in a store. Basically, again, they are 100% fine with proxies, especially proxies that don't have the official art, and they wouldn't pass for the real thing, even at a cursory glance. So, with that, again, and with the absurd nature of the way things are right now, with Wizards printing mechanically unique cards and secret layers that you can try to buy if you're lucky enough and spend an exorbitant amount of money to do so, let's even just look at that really quick and just talk about the actual prices of things right now. So let's go down really quick. Okay, so the Marvel Super Drop, again, like those drops themselves were $40 to $50 a piece. Gosh, I mean, depending on the foil, non-foil, and if you could even get to one. And again, them printing mechanically neat cards in just an individual cell for, a couple of hours or whatnot is just absolutely ridiculous, number one. Let's just talk really quick about these prices and then talk about my solution that I talked about in a previous episode and that I am expanding into and that I'm making available to you in the description and the comments below, and I will be doing so moving forward when Wizards is doing this stuff to give players an option if they don't want to feel forced into the fear of missing out of trying to go buy these incredibly expensive cards or currently expensive products that Wizards is sending out individually. I'm giving you an option that is a lot cheaper, and for those that don't want Universes Beyond, a lot more Magic friendly. Let's say that too. Okay, Black Panther, $38 right now. Captain America, $57 right now. Wolverine, $63 right now. Iron Man, $49 right now. And Storm, my goodness, $70 right now. Again, the Marvel Secret Lair just came out the other day. Their CEO at Hasbro bragged about how it was going to sell out immediately, even though they'd also said in the past that they were going to work their best at, getting to make sure that everyone who wants it can, essentially, with, increasing the amount that they're printing because they're getting better at their numbers, and that is complete crap. Anyways, next up, the D&D movie are also cards that Wizards, again, did promise that they would be reprinting into Universes Within. They said, we will do this. Moving forward, we are going to do this to appeal to every Magic player out there who doesn't want to feel forced into buying these things and who doesn't necessarily want them to be Universes Beyond outside of Magic. And they didn't do that. In fact, they literally just said that we're not going to do that anymore because we don't care. Anyways, Edgin Larsis Luterus, a $30 card. Simon, $13. Very budget-friendly comparatively to the others. Doric, $25. We've got Forge, $20. Zank, $36. Holga, $7. Incredibly budget-friendly. There you go. And the dragon itself, $38. But that's not all. Not only have us Magic players have we not gotten prints for, what I just go through? D&D, Marvel. We also haven't gotten some Doctor Who ones as well. That's right. These are mechanically unique cards that you only could have gotten if you ordered the you ordered the Secret Lair drop with them. In it, essentially, $15 for the Celestial Toy Maker. The 14th Doctor, $53 right now. The Meep, $14. Rose Noble, $7.88. The 15th Doctor, $17.59. And you might think we're done with that because, again, we did get reprints when Wizards was keeping their promise for, well, The Walking Dead. We also got Street Fighter reprints as well in Universe as well. And then we also got, what was the other one? My goodness. Stranger Things. There we go. So we did get a couple, and they were on a roll, and they were actually fulfilling their promise. But they haven't fulfilled their promise for these three or this last one, Tomb Raider. Yeah, I forgot about this one. $27 right now for Lara Croft Tomb Raider as well. So again, what is the solution? I did highlight this on a previous episode. Make sure you check out my Wizards Light episode. But again, I am expanding this to you. I'm calling it the Proxy Project. It is, again, the Proxy Promise. There we go. It is going to be fulfilling Wizards' promise for them. You're welcome, Wizards, to give access to everyone who wants to be able to play with these cards in a very affordable way. And again, more magic in universe than these things are. Let's jump into it. So, again, with these Proxy Promise cards, you can see in the bottom right, it does say Proxy Promise right there. In the bottom left area, you can see that this is the set, name is, or not the set name, but the set abbreviation is XUB, so there you go. You can keep that in mind. And then Edgin Larsenis Luteris, you can see that right there. That is where the name of the card that this is referencing is. So again, this is not attempting to be, as Wizards did say in their announcement from 8 years ago, it's not trying to pass itself off as a real counterfeit card that you should go buy because it needs to be, sold by someone. No, this is something that you can go print off yourself right now. There's a Dropbox link that is much more organized right now than it was previously in the description below. So it does have all the ones I have done so far, all the future ones that I will do for these mechanically unique cards that Wizards again promised that they would be reprinting so that, it's not like we're selling mechanically unique cards as a one-time, buy, creating some manufactured scarcity, fear of missing out. And they're doing exactly that and not putting them in universe even now anymore because they break promises. So to keep the promise for them, this is Proxy Promise. So again, these are more Magic-y versions of the Universes Beyond cards for you that, again, are free for you to download, and you can print them. If you've got a printer yourself, you can go to your local library, you can go to a Kinko's, whatever you need to go print them. And I did organize them better. Some people were like, could you put more things on the sheet? Because, I just printed off, a sheet that's, half full. Yeah, so there's, there's each individual different one, like Marvel, everything broken out, okay? And when you get to that link as well, some people are confused, just don't you have to sign and everything, that you can just click to, or continue to download only, or whatever the button is. Okay, anyways. Muriel, Harmony's Herald. Oh, look at this. It's a nice, cool-looking magic card. Cool. Human Bard for 3 mana. And is it each non-land card in your hand without Foretell is Foretell. Foretell costs equal to mana cost reduced by 2. If you catch your second spell each turn, go target creature to opponent controls. Really cool. It's a cool design. Again, and that's the thing about all these cards. You're not... Some people say you shouldn't like Universes Beyond cards at all. You shouldn't like these secret layers. It's okay to like the design of the card 100%. Even if you're against Universes Beyond cards or you're against them printing mechanically unique cards in secret layers with low production, it's okay to be against those things but still appreciate the design of the card because Wizards has a lot of great designers that are very good at designing cards. This is a really cool commander to build around. So if you've always wanted to build around, again, Edgin Larsenis Lutenis, but you don't want to have a Universes Beyond version, you don't want to pay whatever it was, $30 to buy the actual card itself because you missed the secret lair drop and you didn't want to buy that, print this one out. There you go. And while you're at it, also print out Braca, Fist of the Storm. This is the XGB version of Holga. Relentless Rager, a 4/6 human barbarian with haste for 6 mana in red. Must be blocked if able. When it attacks, each creature you control attacking a player gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each creature that player controls. Quite fun. Again, being able to say hey, okay, you got a lot of creatures. I'm storming through and hitting you for a ton. Absolutely a lot of fun. The Proxy Promise. Moving on. We've got Terran, Eyes of the Silent Night. Cool artwork on this one. 2/4 human rogue with menace for 4 mana in black. This is the new version of Forge, Neverwinter Charlatan. Ward, sacrifice a creature, +2/+0 for each treasure you control. Whenever one more player sacrifice one or more creatures, you create a tap treasure token. Spell triggers only once each turn. Yeah, a bunch of edict effects could go great with this one, of course. Next up, Vareth, the Soul of the Wilds, a 3/3 tiefling druid with vigilance for 4 mana in green. This is the XGB version of Doric, Nature's Warden. When it enters, search a library for a forest card on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Whenever Vareth attacks, you may pay 1 and a green if you do Transformer. And actually, I just wanted to point this out as well because someone pointed out something on the, I think it was the Iron Man card, essentially. But if I do make a mistake in translating one of these cards over, where I think with that one I didn't put like artifact creature versus just regular creature, make sure you let me know. Yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I will update that in the Dropbox links, okay? There you go. Thank you. So when you flip it, anyways, Vareth turns into the Avenger of the Wilds, a 6/6 bird bear with Vigilance and Trample. When it transforms into Vareth, Avenger of the Wilds, other legendary creatures you control get +2/+2, gain Trample until end of turn. Give your upkeep, transform it. Very cool. And that's Doric Owlbear Avenger. It's the backside of the card, of course. Next up, we move on to Uranus, Seer of the Wilds, a 1/1 human elf shaman by, actually, you know, the card's name, if you need the reference again, is Simon, wild magic sorcerer, for 3 mana in blue. Whenever you cast it, insert source spell, mana value 3 or greater, roll a d20. 1 through 9, each player draws a card. 10 through 19, you draw a card. 20, copy that spell to targets of the copy. Lots of fun can happen with all of that rolling. Get your spells ready with mana value 3 or greater. Next up, Evelyn, Blade of the Eternal Vigil, 2/4 human knight with double strike that costs 4 mana in white. This is the XGB version of Zank, Paladin Unbroken. Ores you control have Exalted. Quite fun. Get a bunch of ores out there, and then all of a sudden, swing with this and hit incredibly hard and probably take your opponents out in one shot. Next up, Zorath, the Eternal Ember. I like that name. 5/5 dragon for 7 mana in total in red. This is the reprint of the D&D dragon. Trample. When it enters, he deals X damage to each other creature without flying, and each player X number of mountains you control. You may exert Zorath as he attacks. When you do, he gains flying until end of turn, and then the whole, exerted text right there as well. Quite fun. Get a lot of mountains in play. Next up, we move on to the Doctor Who cards, and we've got the 15th Doctor first. The XGB version of that is Oris, Harbinger of Time's End, a 3/3 Time Lord Doctor for 4 mana in Izzet. When it enters or attacks, mill 3 cards. You may put an artifact card, mana value 2 or 3 from among them in your hand. The first non-artifact spell you cast each turn has Improvise. Those artifacts can help tap for them. Again, I love the design. I love the design of a lot of these commanders. They're really cool designs. And I'm happy to have another option instead of, one that you have to buy either in a secret lair or one that is mechanically unique from those, especially. And yes, ones that aren't necessarily universes bound. You have another option. Next up, we've got Kronar, Lord of Frozen Ages, a 3/4 Time Lord Doctor for 4 mana. It's 3 mana, but 4 different colors. There you go, everything but black. When you cast a spell, reveal the top 14 cards of your library. Put all Doctor cards revealed this way into your graveyard. The rest bottom your library in random order. You may have Kronar enter as a copy of a Doctor card in your graveyard that was put there from the library this turn. If you do, it gains haste until end of turn. And this is the XGB version of the 14th Doctor. Next up, Zirev, Warden of Artifice, a 2/4 Rogue Artificer for 3 mana in Esper. When it attacks, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Exile any number of them in a pile, in a face-down pile, but the rest, the rest in a face-up pile, if I could talk. Defending player chooses one of those piles, put that pile in your hand. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses 2 life for each spell or ability that caused one or more players to guess or to group cards and permanents to a pile this turn. This is the XGB version of the Celestial Toymaker. Next up, we've got Ava Collinsworth of Hastingsville, wherever Hastingsville is. A 2/3 human with Ward 2 for 4 mana in blue. Whenever you cast a Doctor spell or creature spell with Doctor's Companion, draw a card, and it's got Doctor's Companion, so you can have 2 commanders, the other is a Doctor. This is the XGB version of Rose Noble. Next up, Zalrith, Harbinger of the Void, a 0/4 alien for 3 mana in black. Ward, pay 3 life. Whenever Zalrith attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, creature control base power down to XX until after turn where X sacrifice creatures mana value. Quite a lot of fun you can have with this one. This is the XUB version of the Meep. Next up, Vera, Arrow of Dawn. This is the Tomb Raider card. This is Lara Croft Tomb Raider, but the XUB version of that. A 3/4 human ranger with first strike and reach for 3 mana in Teamer. Whenever Vera attacks, exile up to 1 target ledger artifact card or legendary land from a graveyard and put a discovery counter on it. You may put a card from exile with a discovery counter on it this turn. You may play a card from exile with a discovery counter on this turn. Raid at the end of combat on your turn. If you attack this turn, create a treasure token. Again, a lot of really cool designs. I am not arguing against the amazing commander designs. When it comes to them putting a lot of great effort into that, I am arguing against the way that they are going about producing and selling these. That is just the crux of the argument, that they are intentionally making things much more difficult for players, and they are intentionally making things very, 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 very problematic for the community in general, the way that they're going about a lot of this. So again, when they have a promise that they are not keeping, I will try to be there to help with that promise as much as I can when it comes to something like this. With mechanically unique things moving forward, whether it's in Tomb Raider, whether it's in Doctor Who, whether it's in Marvel, whether it's in whatever things coming forward, I am going to be trying my best to stay up with this and giving you an option to, again, with Wizards saying it themselves, utilize cards how you want to utilize them, because they have no desire to police playtest cards made for personal non-commercial use, even if it takes usage. Usage takes place in a store. They are completely fine with playtest cards, proxy cards. They are fine with them. Commander is not a tournament format. There is no tournament. I mean, there are tournaments that you can play in Commander, but the majority of players out there are not playing tournaments in Commander. The majority of players are just playing with their local playgroup, with an LGS at Command Fest. They are completely in their right to play with proxy versions of cards, especially when those cards are much more, reasonable versions, I would say. Then again, the predatory way that Wizards is trying to sell things to players by creating some manufactured scarcity and to take advantage of players' fear of missing out and thinking that they can never play with Storm unless they actually pay up. They can't play with Storm unless you pay up. You sit in line for 4 hours plus or whatever, trying to get to something, not even getting it most likely at the end of the day. And if you want to get it, you need to go to the secondary market and pay 3 times the price of the actual drop itself, and not giving players another option at all. And breaking the promise that they made in the past to give players that other option, which was working out, and that, again, that option that was also within universe for players who want to play within universe. So again, the proxy promise, I am trying to help out with that as much as I can for players who want to utilize that. Make sure you check out that drop list link in the description below, as well as I'll try to remember to comment and pin it as well. And again, when you're going through that, make sure you don't feel like you need to sign up for Dropbox. You can just go or continue to download only. You don't need to request access. I got a lot of people asking me about access to it. You don't have to request access to download it. You do not need to do that. You just need to download the things. Okay, so make sure you do that if you want to play with these. Again, I think that they're some pretty cool designs as well. If you do see again any mistakes on the cards from the translations between the card on Scryfall, which is where I got the text from, and over, if I miss something again, like when I did with Iron Man, and being an artifact creature, make sure you let me know so I can update that. And when the future cards come out, which they're going to at some point, I am sure, and we get SpongeBob Secret Lair with mechanically unique Patrick, there'll be a magic version of that I'll be helping you with, okay? Anyways, thank you for your time and patience with Wizards over these years, because obviously, again, at a time back in 2016, I feel like they were a bit better at listening to the community, but being transparent. But these days, I don't think really the transparency and the honesty is really there at all in many ways. So yeah. Thank you, Wizards, for putting this out and saying that, yeah, perpetually, this is your statement, that you are fine with proxies. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.